Welcome back my stitchers. I'm very happy to be back with you, and today we'll make this half back collar which is inspired by actress Rekha, and it is an 80s style. So we'll cut an embroidered designer kurti, finish the front round neck, cut half stand collar and stitch it nicely and complete this kurti today. This is 2-meter fabric. It has embroidery design in front, so we cut front and back separately. You would have noticed that in some of the dress materials there is one stitch in middle of the fabric, that is just a little bit above the neck design. So we can separate this fabric, the front panel and the back panel, removing this stitch. So I remove this stitch from one side and tear the pieces apart, and it's so much fun to do. See, but be careful if you are doing it for the first time. Please try on some rough fabric. We fold the fabric wrong side out and keep middle of this design one part on the other side and pin starting from the top till the bottom, so that our design is on top of each other. I'm keeping for shoulder stitch. Shape the front neck as you want. It is already marked round, so we marked it round. You can make it V or U or sweetheart as you want, but we won't be cutting this neck now. We take half of shoulder plus ½ inch. So I'm taking 7.5 because I'd be adding a half collar for back neck. From shoulder, I take this line down and take ½ inch for a slant, a bend from neck curve till the shoulder. Armhole length I've taken is 7.5, that is chest into 4 minus 1 inch plus ½ inch. And this is chest line, that is chest into 4 plus ½ inch. And now I mark this armhole, taking ½ inch midway inside and making a curve ½ inch inside of this line which is coming from shoulder till your chest line, and taking 1 inch, about 1 inch out for your back part, your back armhole. Waist length I've taken 14.5, hip length is 21.5 and full length is 39 inches plus ½ inch for the shoulder fold. Chest into 4 ½ inch, waist into 4 ½ inch and hip into 4 ½ inch, and bottom we'll add ½ inch more. Using a tracing wheel, we trace the side marking. We'll be stitching on this line. Now we cut the outline of the kameez. We don't cut the neck now, but we make the notches. So we cut the outer line of the armhole and the sides also, and we make notches. Make the notches wherever shown. Be careful about the pattern of the fabric while cutting the back part. So we fold this also. We have this lace at the bottom. We can keep this smaller one for the back part and the bigger one is for front. So we keep the front that we had cut on the folded side of the back fabric and we make the mark. We mark 3/4 of an inch down from this line and shape this back neck. Now you cut the armhole, only the outlines and the sides, and make notches and separate both the pieces. Cut the front armhole and shape it. Now we cut the sleeves. So fold the fabric like this. I don't need to keep 1.5 inch for bottom fold, but you can keep that. The total sleeve length I'm taking 5.5 inch, half inch extra, and armhole length is 7 inch. 2.5 inch, that is chest into 12, and from top till this down, join that and take middle of it, that will be half inch out, and make a slight semicircle. From here you make a slight curvy mirror image of S. The bottom of the sleeve is 5.5 inch, so mark that, and from the bottom you join the armhole end. Out of this mark I keep 1 inch, or you can keep at the most 2 inch for seam allowance of the sleeve. We'll be cutting on this outer line of the sleeve. So you cut just the outline and make a small notch on top of the sleeve. Now open the sleeve, and now we cut and shape the front part of the sleeve. So it is slightly, it goes inside and then it comes outside, and here you can make a small notch to identify which is the front side of the sleeve. So here the sleeve is cut. To finish our front neck, we need a fabric which is at least 2 inch wider than the front neck. So either you can measure it and take a scrap of a fabric, or you can just estimate and take an approx width and length of this fabric and keep. This is right side facing each other, and check. Now we make one middle this stitch to hold both pieces together. This running straight stitch will help you hold both the pieces together, and while you'll be making this round neck around this neck, the back part would not move. Once we stitch around this neck, that will be 1 centimeter away from the embroidered line, we'll cut again 1 centimeter away from our stitching line and turn that fabric inside out. So our neck would start looking like this, and we turn this fabric piece inside, and later on we can hem or make a top stitch on it. Once front neck is done and we have made the top stitch, we can hem and we'll join the shoulders, the front side with the back side. So we'll stitch the shoulders together. Now we'll join the back collar. We want this collar to appear about slightly or 2 inch towards front side. So we mark 2 inch on the front neck. You can take it 3 or 4 or 5, or you can make it even 1 inch if you want lesser part of the collar to be shown in towards the right side, but I am marking it 2 inch, and from this point till other point we'll measure the size of the round of our neck. You can take this 1 inch wide canvas strip, or you can just cut 1 inch wide canvas strip or bukram strip and take half of the collar neck. That neck we had measured, it is 12 inch folded, so it's 6 inch now. We take midpoint of it, and from this midpoint we mark till end of this strip. You can make it more slanting or more curvy, and we take 1/4 inch or 1 centimeter down, and from here also we take midpoint and make it a little bit straight and slanting. Take 2 layers of fabric, wrong sides are out, and we paste or we stitch this collar, that canvas. If you are using a canvas which can be pasted, then you need to use a dry iron, and then keeping ½ inch outside of this canvas, I mark around this collar. Hold the pieces together and cut the outline only. Be careful that the lower part doesn't move. Now we make a small notch in the center of this down part, and on the upper side we use a pin to hold the pieces together, and this lower side we make a running wide stitch. So if you haven't pasted your canvas or bukram, that collar we cut, you can use this stitch to hold your canvas with the fabric. As you can see, we folded and stitched only one side of the fabric with the canvas. Now we place it back on the lower part, and starting from this point till this point, we'll make a stitch on this curvy side. This place where we folded earlier and we made a notch, that side would be open. We have to stitch not on the canvas but outside of it, on the fabric. Once it is done, cut the extra fabric on the sides, make some notches, some cuts, but not on the stitch but on the fabric only, and turn it inside out. See, this is how our collar would look like. So this is how it would be joined. We had made one notch in the center of this back neck and one notch in the center of this collar. Joining both these notches, we start from one point and stitch one side and repeat the same thing on the other side. This one side of collar would end where we had marked in the front side of the kameez for the collar. If you feel that the collar is a bit short, then pull collar a little bit, or if you think the fabric of our kameez is a little bit shorter than the collar, then pull that fabric a little bit, but it should be only a little bit. Don't try to manipulate it too much, because that it spoil the shape of the collar. In that case, you need to, if it happens that there is too much difference in the size of the collar or the neck of the kameez, in that case you'll have to cut the collar again, checking the measurements of the neck. When you have stitched both sides of the collar along with the neck, then turn it inside and pressing these points inside, hide the stitch, the joint stitch, that's the outside and this is inside. Now make a stitch. See, initially you may find it difficult to make a collar, but it is not that difficult. Just you have to make sure that you pin it together, or you use a basting stitch, or you have to just make it mark so that it is easier for you. And if you follow these instructions or this tutorial, then you won't find it that difficult. It's quite easy and it's quite interesting to make a neck. Hide the other side of this joint inside the collar and stitch on top of this collar, and even all around this collar you have to make a top stitch. When you finish at this end, this neck should also end where the mark was there, like that 2-inch mark you made. Now we join sleeve to the armhole. So we start from the middle point. We keep this sleeve starting from the middle point. This way you get to know if your sleeve is fitting the armhole. So we start from the middle notch that we made on the sleeve and on that shoulder joint. And if our sleeve is a little bit shorter, we pull it, but don't do it too much. Our cutting should be right in order to fit the sleeve. And this side also, starting from that notch and shoulder joint, we repeat the same thing. See the side which is curvy, that is front side, there we need to pull the sleeve a little, but the other side where there is less curvy, we don't need to pull it much. So we fit the sleeves and stitch them together, keeping one piece on the other. Now we mark sleeve bottom round, that is 5.5 inch, and starting from this point where we made this mark, we stitch till the joint where the slit part starts. So we stitch till slit. You can make a mark if your tracing wheel mark is not clear. So we stitch straight till the mark, till this notch, that hip notch, where we have to make a slit. Now I show you how to make these slits by marking and folding them. See, we can go by guesswork, but it helps if we take a little pen and mark, measuring the exact length and exact width of our notch, any slits or any part of the dress. So we make this 1 inch we had left, so we mark this 1 inch on the sides, and here we had stopped our stitch, so we make a mark here until here. We need to stop it. The other side also we make it mark. So here also it's 1 inch. Marking makes our work easy. We can just fold it from one part. Now we can fold it half till the mark, and one more fold, and start stitching on it till the mark where that slit ended, and there we'd fold it. So it's a straight simple stitch that will be uniform on all two slits this side and 2 slits on the other side. When you reach at the end, you fold this corner and you make sure the other side is also parallel to it. So either you use a pin to keep it in place, or simply, it comes with practice, you simply, when you will be turning and you fold it on the mark itself, because we had made the mark for this purpose only. So we turn and again turn and make a straight simple stitch till the end, and we'll repeat the same process with the other slit also. While machining on the slits, you can either make one stitch at the edge of this fold, or you can make two stitches, one this side and one on the other side. On this joint of the slit, you can make an eye here, the eye which you make for hooks. So it will stop this slit from puckering from the end. So this is how you done it. In a quick recap, I show you how to stitch this other side of the sleeve with the armhole and mark the bottom of the sleeve and stitch the other side of this kameez, and how to do the slit. So you do this, and if you are using some lace or some embroidered thing on the at the bottom of the kameez, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just fold 1 inch at the bottom. Here I folded 1 inch at the bottom. So here your beautiful neck is ready. I'm sure you like this video. So like, share, comment and do subscribe to catch up with the latest. Goodbye.